The forest is patient. It swallows stone, conceals history, and wraps humanity's greatest achievements in a verdant blanket. When French naturalist Henri Mouhot entered these forests in 1860, following local guides, he encountered something even more magnificent than ancient Rome. He announced to the Western world that he had found a lost city in the middle of the forest. But Mouhot was wrong. This place wasn't lost. The natives were already here. And more importantly, what he saw was only the tip of the iceberg. LiDAR, or laser scanning, conducted over the last 10 years has shown us the incredible truth beneath the ground. This wasn't just a temple complex. Angkor was the largest metropolis the world had ever seen before the Industrial Revolution. A massive, mega-city, spread over 1,000 square kilometers and home to approximately 1 million people. London's population was only 30,000 at the time, while Angkor ruled the world. So how did these people build this massive civilization in the middle of the forest? How did they move tons of stone?
Pulled by the strength of elephants, these massive stones formed the foundation of what would become the glorious Angkor Wat.
And most importantly, why did they abandon it? Today, we're unraveling the mysteries carved into the stones of Angkor. Our story begins not with stones, but with water. In the heart of Cambodia lies Lake Tonle Sap, a unique phenomenon. During monsoon rains, the Mekong River rises so high that it reverses the direction of flow into the lake. In the year 802 AD, a prince named Jayawarman II ascended Mount Kulin and declared himself Chakravartin, or ruler of the universe. This was the birth of the cult of the Devaraja, God King. Obeying the king now meant obeying God.
Om Namah Shivaya. We invoke the Devaraja.
But being a God King didn't mean enough. To feed this massive population, rice was needed. The Khmer built the most complex water network in history. We call this the hydraulic city. The barays they built, or artificial ponds, were so large. The western dam you see now is 8 kilometers long and 2 kilometers wide. And hold on tight, this reservoir was built not by digging, but by building dams around it. It was entirely manual labor. Thanks to this system, they could harvest rice not once, but 3 or even 4 times a year. The true source of Angkor's wealth was not gold, but water. In the 12th century, King Suryavarman II sought to seal his power for eternity. With construction taking 37 years, Angkor Wat, the largest religious structure in the world, rose. It was a marvel of engineering as well as a mathematical genius. The temple symbolizes the Hindu cosmos. The central tower represents Mount Meru, the home of the gods. The moat surrounding it is a cosmic ocean. No two of the more than 3,000 Aspara, celestial dancer figures, on the walls are alike. Their hairstyles, their jewelry, they are all different. But this splendor attracted enemies. In 1177, the Cham kingdom destroyed Angkor in a surprise river raid. They believed the gods had abandoned them. It was after this destruction that the greatest king of the empire came onto the scene, Jayawarman VII. He rebuilt the city with Mahayana Buddhism, where the Hindu gods had failed to protect it. His legacy was not the symmetry of Angkor Wat, but the faces of the Bayon Temple. Wherever you go, there are 216 gigantic faces staring back at you, smiling faintly. Are these faces the king himself, or symbols of his compassion? No one knows for sure, but what they evoke is not fear, but peace. So who lived among these rocks? What did they sound like? Fortunately, we know this thanks to what might be considered history's first travel blogger, Chinese diplomat Zhou Deguan. Deguan, who came to the city in 1296, wrote in his memoirs, "The towers are covered with solid gold. When the sun hits them your eyes are dazzled. Even the statues on the bridges are made of gold." At that time, while Europe was in the Dark Ages, Angkor was swimming in gold. The most interesting detail in Deguan's notes was this: trade was entirely in the hands of women. They were the ones selling rice, fish, and silk in the marketplaces, keeping the economy running. It was also believed that the king had to sleep in the Tower of Phimanakas at night with a princess who turned into a snake. The city never sleeps. Festivals, fireworks, and elephant fights. Angkor was the New York of the 13th century. Lively, noisy, and rich. But with every rise comes a fall. For years, historians believed Angkor was destroyed by war. But recent studies of tree rings have revealed the killer: climate change. The Little Ice Age of the 14th century brought devastating droughts and then devastating floods to Southeast Asia. The immense hydraulic system could not withstand this imbalance. The canals filled with sand, the dams dried up. When the water system collapsed, so did the authority. The people gradually abandoned the city. The capital moved south, leaving the square to its rightful owner, nature. The roots of the kapok trees have infiltrated the stone blocks and wrapped them like an octopus. Today, Angkor Wat is a national pride, emblazoned on the Cambodian flag. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and welcomes millions of people every year. Its lesson is crystal clear. No matter how great man builds, nature always has the final say. But the smile on those stones, that smile will stay with us forever.